Who is John Galt? Stay tuned and you'll find out. Hi, I'm Sue Jeffers for Libertarian Viewpoint. Libertarianism is all about liberty, the exercise of freedom that doesn't impinge on the rights of others. We constantly hear the drum roll of government solutions. This show's purpose is to allow you to see for yourself why non-government solutions are a better alternative. Today our guest is Sunny Lohmann. Have you ever heard of the Minnesota Objectivists Association? Well, today is your lucky day. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sue.
I don't know if I'm an objectivist or not, but I am so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
And why don't you start out by telling us a little bit.
What is objectivism?
What is it?
Yeah, what is it? Well, objectivism is the philosophy developed by Ayn Rand, who most of you have probably heard of, at least from her fiction work, which her famous novel Atlas Shrugged, which has been in the news a lot in the last couple of years. She also wrote The Fountainhead, which a lot of people have also heard of. It's about an architect, and at least if you're an architect major, you've read it. But it's a great novel.
Both of them are great novels.
Really wonderful novels.
And I really felt we were making progress when over Christmas I went to Barnes & Noble and they had a whole display featuring Atlas Shrugged and all of Ayn Rand's work. And
it's exciting.
This is work she did in the 50s.
That's right.
So now all of a sudden people are waking up and they're coming back again and they're saying, hey, we got to take a look at this. And some people say it's a cult. Are you a cult?
Yeah, no, we're not a cult. I mean, a cult, in my definition, would be an ideology or a group that you have to basically give up your reason and give up thinking and kind of just do whatever the cult leader says. And Ayn Rand is probably the best advocate of reason in the history of mankind. So she wants you to think, she wants you to use your mind. She's for reason, she's for logic. She says it's our only tool, our only means of knowledge, not emotions, not whims, not blind following of any leader. She would be the first one to be against that. So that is why I don't think I'm in a cult. But I do agree with her, and I agree with her philosophy, which is has made my life really great, and I live by it in the same way. I think for one thing, I think that we're atheists if you're an objectivist. But it gives you an ethical code, a moral code that is grounded on reality. So you know how to be a good person. You can make decisions in your life, which I think is something religion gives people. But I'm talking.
So you don't need a God. You don't need a God to find your moral base.
Right.
Find your moral character.
Yeah.
It's all based on reasoning. Let's go back to Ayn Rand and let's expand just a little bit on her philosophy.
Okay.
So start at the beginning and, she wants us to think critically. She wants us to reason. She wants us to use our brain, not our heart, not our emotions, not our faith, but to use our brains.
Well, emotions are facts too. So she would say, analyze your emotions. Your emotions matter. I mean, what you like matters, what you don't like matters, but that's not the only fact to consider. You need to consider your long-range happiness. What that means is, if you don't do something that immediately gives you pleasure, if in the long run it's going to hurt you. It's going to damage your self-esteem or damage people you love or destroy your values in other ways.
Or negatively impact your life down the road.
Yeah, or you wouldn't violate someone else's rights, for example, because that's giving up your rights in a way. I mean, you're saying rights don't matter. Well, that's yours too. So if you value rights, don't violate someone else's rights.
So back in the 1950s, Ayn Rand established, did she start writing first?
Yes, she started writing fiction. And her main thing she always had wanted to be a novelist. And I think by writing her novels, and she said this, by writing her novels, she developed a philosophy because her novels are so deeply ideological. So out of that came Objectivism. If you've read Atlas Shrugged, it was published in 1957, and everybody's today is seeing how prophetic it was because it's basically a map of what we're going through right now politically.
And how would you define objectivism?
Objectivism, well, I mean,
it's not easy to define.
It's not easy to define. Objectivism is the philosophy of Ayn Rand, is the shortest way to put it. But basically, it's objectivism says that existence exists. First of all, this is it, and there isn't anything outside of existence. This is it, and that's where you can stop. You can stop there. You don't have to step outside of the universe to try to explain it, and that's sort of the grounding of it, and that's why we don't accept any supernatural ideas. And then from there...
So if this is it, you better make the most of this.
Make the most of it. Make the most of it. And I think that's a great message no matter what. From this is it, existence exists, to get all the way up to politics, you have to start with what is man, and why does man need politics, and why does man deserve to be free? And I mean, that's even a little further than I want to go, but if you go to existence exists, things have a certain identity, and that's what they are. Man is a certain kind of thing. We have a certain kind of ability. The way that we survive is with our minds. We don't have claws, we don't have sharp teeth, we have our minds. And so the mind is our moral instrument. What's good or bad for us, you figure that out by thinking. And so reason is her number one virtue, being rational. So every other sort of ethic that she has comes from that. And that's the secular basis for it, is that you're a certain kind of animal and you need your mind. And so, and when you go all the way up the chain into politics, the worst, most immoral thing is when somebody tries to stop your mind. And that's why you should be free. You should be free to think and act on your mind so that you can survive to the best of your ability. So the best thing for man is to leave him alone and let him think for himself.
But you have a lot of people in politics who want to tell us what to think.
That's right. I mean, it's amazing. They literally want to tell you how to live your life in every aspect. And I was trying to think the other day, I was writing an article and trying to think of what are the areas left that are unregulated? Literally, what? Not even your toothpaste in the morning is unregulated. So there's maybe 2 or 3 aspects of every life that the government doesn't have some say in. And it's...
I can't even think of 1 or 2 that it
sex.
seems to have a say
But even
in.
then there's like, well, only certain kinds of... But, it's, there aren't any anymore. Even your toilet. If you think about it, you get up in the morning, you go to brush your teeth, your toothpaste has certain ingredients that have been approved by the FDA.
Your water?
Your water is specially made just for you, and I think they're regulating bottled water now.
Yes, they are.
So you can't even get away from it there. You go to the bathroom. Your toilet flushes a particular number of gallons per second. Based
shower head?
Your shower head
is regulated.
Where's our water pressure?
Your
we have no
laundry
water pressure.
detergent is regulated.
That's right.
And it goes
down
on
from there. Literally, go through your whole day, and you can't find a moment that the government hasn't told you what to do, or that it isn't impacting your life somehow.